The thing that I dislike the most about upcoming sets is that me as a content creator, as someone that gives you guys live duels and deck profiles on a weekly basis, I have to have the cards, and normally I have to pay sneak peek prices for them, some absorbent prices. Now, normally our guys at Hubbub Gaming, they have a load of cards for us to buy from, and they give us a really good deal knowing our situation. And then there's those other people that just try to juice you and try to get as much money as possible, knowing that the cards will drop almost in half by the next day. It's unfortunate, but it's how I roll. Fortunately for me, I've developed a system. I've actually threaded through every single card in the set. So not only do I know some of the best cards, I know some underrated ones. And while our wallet is still crying, we at least are able to give you guys a video on some of the most underrated cards in this set. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, they're going to destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. And also a mad shout out to our newest Patreons, Brandon Sterling, Wheezy SG, and William Brock. Welcome to the clan. Make sure you add yourselves to that Discord as well as much as me or my admin so we can get you in the top dogs so you can take advantage of all your rewards. Without further ado, I present to you the most underrated cards inside of the Dark Neostorm set. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we don't do top 5 lists anymore. I'm just gonna give you guys all of the sauce, all of the good cards in this set. And another thing I want to say is that if you guys have Ghost Sisters and Spooky Dogwood, your boy is looking for 2. And you know, I got the cash, I got the cards, so hit me up on my social media. I'll leave it down below in the description. So the first card I want to talk to you guys about is Ib World Challenge Justusher. Now, I'm trying to remember its name or its effect off of memory. I should probably just check my phone, but forget it. We're just gonna go in. It is a level 5 water synchro monster who just so happens to be a tuner whose effect reads, if it's synchro summoned, you can add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. And if it's sent to the graveyard as a synchro summon, you can spell summon World Chalice monster from your graveyard or field to your side, or for hand to your side of the field, except for a World Chalice monster. I'm gonna read all of the other cards. I'm pretty sure I got it right, but the card is just insane. Not only does Ib provide so much support for the True King Dino, it being a water monster, free access to Soul Eating Oviraptor, being able to send Miscellaneous Surge, which is now at 3 to spell summon Direct Alo to bring this card, which is again a water monster for Bassatros. It just makes so much sense in so many decks. Being able to have access to cards like World Legacy Succession inside of your deck means that you get a free monster reborn. And not only is it a monster, it's a monster with some really good attributes. Being a tuner allows you to be able to be played in synchro heavy decks, as well as being able to extend by getting you future cards. This card is really good. A card on this list that really shouldn't be on this list. I mean, actually, I didn't even know this card was that good until I actually sat down and read it. Crackdown is extremely powerful. It is a continuous trap card that says, activate by targeting 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of that monster. While you control that monster, it cannot attack or activate its effects. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Now, this card is really good for the reason that it is a trap version of mind control. Oh, your opponent's gonna be setting up that board that you don't like? Activate this card to take control of your opponent's monster. Oh, your opponent has a continuous monster effect on the field that you really don't want to see on the field. Activate this card, take control of that monster, and negate its effects. I do think that Crackdown maybe is not an underrated card, possibly even one of the best cards of the set that I just completely skipped over, but some players just don't know the viability of Crackdown. It's just a really good card that's almost stashed away inside of the set with so many powerful cards. World Legacy Monstrosity is probably the biggest winner, and if this was a list, it would definitely be number 1. It is a quick play spell card. You guys should already know how I feel about quick play spell cards. Anything with that emblem is probably the best card in the game. Its effect reads, activate 1 of these effects. Spell summon level 9 monster from your hand. Target 1 level 9 monster you control. Spell summon from your deck 2 level 9 monsters, each with different original types and attributes from that face-up targeted monster, with different names from each other. But those 2 monsters cannot attack or also destroy him doing the end phase. You can only use the effect of one World Legacy monstrosity once per turn. Like, Konami, are you guys trying to make True King Dino one of the best decks in the format? Not only did you give us Ib, not only did you give us Miscellaneous Ceres to 3, but you also gave us a card to cycle out True King monsters to our side of the field in the form of a quick play spell card. Calamities is a card that definitely should be bought out at this point in time, as well as this card, because it's too powerful. A searchable version of this card, because, you know, Ib kind of searches this card, allowed you to pop off with some insane plays. I really think that World Legacy monstrosity is a really powerful and heavily slept on card. Chain Hole is a really fun trap card, and its effect reads, when your opponent activates a monster effect in response to a card effect or activation, negate the opponent's effect. Then your opponent can banish one card from their hand or deck with the same original name as the negated card, and if they do not, you can banish one random card in their hand. And this card is just ridiculous, especially seeing that in this Yu-Gi-Oh card game, almost every monster effect, or at least every great one, is a quick effect. Not only being able to negate a card that activates in response to a card, your opponent is forced to banish another copy of that card, meaning that if it's limited to one, or your opponent only decides to play one, or if it's an extra deck monster, they're for sure going to lose a card in their hand. I really think Chain Hole is very fun to play, and definitely is one of those cards that you have to look at and go, huh, this card isn't that bad. Like, Konami just doesn't seem to make terrible cards anymore. After Chain Hole, we have Pendulum Holt, a card that definitely is one of those head scratchers. Its effect reads, if you have 3 or more face-up pendulum monsters with different names in your extra deck, draw 2 cards. You cannot add cards from your deck to your hand for the rest of the turn after this card resolves. Pendulum Holt is very interesting in the fact that it allows you to draw 2 additional cards. Like, Pendulum players really need that. After activating your Pot of Desires and then loading your extra deck up thanks to Electromite and other link summonings, or link summoning into your Electromite, you can activate this card to draw 2 more additional cards on top of that. I think Pendulum Holt definitely is one of those cards that Pendulum players should consider, but may not just make the bracket. Nonetheless, it's probably a 20-cent card right now, and it's stupid underrated. Nobody's paying attention to it. Our cover card for this video is World Chalice Guard Dragon Armaduke, and this card, I've already talked about it as being one of the best cards. It's still heavily slept on. It requires 3 link monsters and must be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 3 link monsters on your side of the field. After that, it can attack all your opponent's monsters each once, and if your opponent's monster battles this monster while you have a link monster with the same link rating in your graveyard, you can banish to destroy this monster. Now, a lot of people are still probably scratching their heads on why I think this card is so good. Well, it has 2 clauses in its effect. You can actually special summon it by tributing 3 link monsters, or you can actually fusion summon this card. And the first card that should come to everyone's mind is Super Polymerization, the card that did decide to be at 2 inside of this forbidden list. Being able to fuse 3 of your opponent's link monsters for a 3,000 body, I don't know, man. Too strong. I really like this card's design. I love it. It's another Super Polymerization. It's a card that is definitely going to be competitive at some point down the line. Whether players choose for it to be now or later is up to them. The next card is kind of a cheat card because it's specific to only one archetype, but it's still really good. Crusadia Testament is a quick play spell card. Again, you guys should already know how I feel about quick play spells, whose effect reads, activate one of these effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Crusadia monster effects this turn. After damage calculation, if your Crusadia link monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw cards equal to your monster's link rating. You can only activate a Testament once per turn. Not only does this prevent your opponent from ghost ogring and snow rabbiting your Crusadia Spatha, but it also gives you advantage when you summon that Equimax to your side of the field and you run over that opponent's monster, because it's going to be able to run over almost anything in the world the way that you play Crusadias. You can draw 3 cards. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 additional cards. This just might be what exactly Crusadia needs to be pushed over the edge to be a serious contender deck. I really like how Konami is giving support to some of these older decks. Saryuja's Shackles is a normal trap card whose effect reads, target one link monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, draw cards equal to its link rating. Then, if you have 2 or more cards in your hand, place 2 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can only activate one Saryuja's Shackles once per turn. So if your opponent has a Link 4 monster, you get to draw 2 cards. It's essentially a pot of greed. And they don't even have to have a Link monster on the field, they can have it in the graveyard. So you just Shackles allows you to cycle your hand by putting some of those dead cards in your hand to the graveyard, because almost every deck plays some type of bricks and allows you to further your strategy. The only drawback is that So You Just Shackles is a trap card, but that's something that I can actually take or give, given the fact that it is a, draw 2. And potentially a draw 4, depending on how your hand looks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I have for my underrated cards in Dark Neostorm. Now, of course, according to you guys, I probably missed some really key cards. I want you guys to post down below in the comment section on what cards exactly did the TheCaliEffect miss? What spice are we talking about? What cards that nobody are looking for, or nobody is looking for, and is extremely underrated? Also, if you guys are huge in Overwatch, then go ahead and follow me on Twitch. All the links is down below in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, and if you really did, consider being one of our Patreons. We have some awesome rewards. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.